So tell me what's sexually gratifying. Here's just a example of a UK magazine. We've got beautiful Fern Cotton here. And white, clear-skinned, definitely sexually active because she's a partner and a mother. She's sexually gratifying, so if her body was used non-consensually, she'd be a victim. This woman, who I don't know, again, her chest's unsure, her arm's unsure, her midriff's unsure, her face is unsure. She's white, her teeth are as white as the rest of her clothes, and the bowl that she's holding, not sure if any Photoshop is involved here. She would be defined as sexually gratifying because she is not an Asian or ethnic minority, and because she has completely clear skin, breast development, and there you go, she would be classed as a victim of sexual gratification, or rather non-consensual image use. Same for her, same for them. I mean, to be fair, I have picked up a copy of Psychologies, so it's not going to be the most sexually gratifying magazine, really, is it? To my delight, most of the women are fully dressed. But you get the point, the majority of people in the media and in real life in your town centres are half or less than half dressed. Well, considering I'm at the very, very, very latter end of the 20s, I sincerely hope that my 30s are better than this, because let me tell you, this is not. I mean, you can see her, again, I'm not really doing myself any favours with this particular. At least she doesn't have hair under her arms that she has to remove. I don't think she's got much of a chest, but again, consensual. Again, her back's on display, you can't see her face, it's non-identifiable, but she wanted people to look at her back and her chest and her arms and her clear skin. So she chose to wear that consensually. My situation is different. Again, it's very rare for me to see people actually fully dressed. But again, she wanted this image. That's why she's specifically posing for it with her face. And she doesn't have a skin disease to raise awareness of. Again, you know, she's showing her arms here with her tattoos and things. I'm not entirely sure how she's a Christian, but she's got tattoos, but okay. Clear skin. Blessed with clear skin that she can even tattoo without any further afflictions happening. Fully dressed. This is a bit weird. It's not often. Oh my gosh, they're all fully dressed. Right, let's do this together. This is a cartoon. She has more consent than I do. It's the fact that people saw not just my skin, not just my face along with my skin, but the hairiness, the skin disease, the flat chest, the absolute wonkiness and disease that I did not give anybody any right. I used to go swimming as a child, right? I had to stop at the age of 11. I loved swimming, loved it. Despite my breathing difficulties, despite my hatred of not being white, despite every insecurity, I loved going swimming, and I had to stop because of the skin condition, which I've had for over 16 years now, or over 15 years now. And for the first time in my life, I stand for someone who I thought was trustworthy, who I thought was going to help me raise awareness. What does she do? She blanks me, she keeps the photographs, she disrespects me in the worst possible ways, verbally and otherwise, because let me tell you, one of the worst forms of disrespect is when people neglect, ignore and write you off, even though they hold images and they hold data of you. She could have shared them with paedophiles, she could have shared them with anyone, and she did. She shared them with her paedophilic friends, she shared them with university staff, total strangers, who then also had the ability to photograph it on their phone, make derogatory comments like, what the fuck is that, look at the state of her, she's ugly. Nobody has any idea what I'm going through right now. The mental distress, the physical distress, the questions, the panic, every negative experience and emotion as a direct result of this violation. But as a believer in God, I trust every night and every day, no matter what, no matter how bad things were, are, or will still be. I have every ounce of faith that what she has done to me is going to come back to her 1,000-fold in the worst of ways, in ways she cannot even imagine. May her daughter suffer, may her husband suffer, may her other children suffer, may her sexual partners suffer, may everyone involved with her or enabling her, may her lecturer Sharon Lovell, may she, Azizat Armour, may every person who is behind this horrendous violation against me be tortured. Because for me, the torture has not ended. They have not provided any transparency on where the images are, how else they've been used, why it was used in the first place without any context about my mental health conditions, about the skin condition, about the bereavement, about, this was a mental health collaboration. You're supposed to collaborate with the individuals, with the subjects. The bastard called Matt Dillon at the university had the audacity to say, oh, by the way, just thought we'd let you know that we did use the images online in an art show, but we just chose not to invite you because you're not that important. Essentially, that's what he said. Bullshit about not having my details. Everybody at the university had my phone number. My email address, my address, I was in the accommodation there. So how the fuck do you not have somebody's details? Not one of my lecturers asked me. I will not be a bitter old woman still talking about this at 70, but for now I have to be bitter because I do not stand for the abuse of disabled, ethnic minority, marginalised women. Right, let's do this inventory. Change readiness review. Even when we want things to be different, we don't always feel able to or willing or ready to make the change. Here are some questions to help you to explore the costs and benefits of changing. What is holding you back from changing, and to what extent you really want to make this change? What do I want to achieve? What long-term result will I get, and by when? I would like to see the demise of each and every one of my perpetrators within the next 3 calendar months, and I would like to see their bodies, ugly bodies, not just normal healthy bodies. I would like to see their diseased, unattractive, bullied bodies exposed in displays without their consent online and in print. And of course, alongside that, I would like money and an income and better living space. When I achieve this, what will be the benefit to me? Well, a little bit of closure. What am I doing which is getting in the way of me making this change? I am doing absolutely nothing to get in my way. What's getting in my way is the abuse from total strangers, is the being wrongly detained every time I try to speak up, is the being ignored, being perpetrated by the police, who themselves make comments like, look at the state of her, what the fuck is that, etc. There's too many things getting in the way. By the way, the fact that I still have the skin condition that I tried to raise awareness of in the first place, for which I'm getting no help. What are the benefits of staying where I am? I don't really have a choice, mate. What are the costs of staying where I am? I don't have a choice. If someone else I knew was facing this issue, what would I tell them to do? Don't kill yourself, because they don't care either way. What will happen if I do this? What will happen if I do what? If I achieve the goal of getting justice, a hell of a lot. I would get some form of closure. I want to be able to see how they'll react. Because they might pretend to be all laissez-faire, unbothered, carefree. That's because everything's happening so easily for them. That's because they've got the financial security, the cars, the nice houses, the jobs, the sexual gratification, the children, the food, the drink, the holidays, the being accepted, the being rewarded, the being awarded. That's because they've got all of that. Once you take all of that away and you strip it all back and you rip them apart, what do they have? Nothing. They have nothing. I want to see them begging on the streets. I want to see them homeless. I want to see them crying ugly tears People going, shut the fuck up, people telling them, why are you crying? Nobody gives a shit. You're not helping yourself. I want to see them being dragged into the back of a police van into a suite and then detained on a mental health ward for months on end, where people defecate, where people talk to themselves, where staff members are having sex with the women who have boobs and bums and getting away with it, where male and female staff abuse disabled people, and may no one come to visit them. And I pray that they will beg to be let out of there, but they won't. They will just be caged. And I pray that people will make comments such as, look at the state of her, she's ugly, what the fuck is that? You can't deny she's ugly. Look, no one's come to visit her. What will this give me that I don't already have? Well, I've just explained that. And write yourself a message. Dear me, bravo on still being here and getting up and showering up and dressing up and showing up and existing and trying to navigate this disgusting town and disgusting people around you. Well done for not killing yourself nor anyone else. Well done for knowing your worth, knowing that no matter how much they try to expose your body and your skin, they can never take away your purity. Their purity is gone, and that's why they felt the need to basically project their insecurities. Although they act as though they've won and they find this hilarious, and although they act as though I'm the victim, at the core of this is that they tried to project their insecurities by abusing the most pure, the most vulnerable, the most innocent, the most marginalised person they could find, which is i.e. me, and they thought, wow, we've won because now someone else is more of a victim than those. But listen, guys, you're still impure, you're still used baggage, you're still dirty people, you've still got all the sexual history and dirty laundry everywhere. You're not any purer because you've abused a pure person. No matter how much you expose me, the good Lord God Almighty above, in the name of Jesus Christ, believe me, mark my words, they will expose you. They will expose the behaviours that your teenage children get up to. And let me tell you, as someone who's very observant, there are 12-year-olds in Bolton having sex, right? And they don't feel any shame about it. There are 14-year-olds getting pregnant, and it's the norm. I mean, I suppose a few years ago in the Victorian era, being pregnant at 14 probably wasn't all that different or odd. But you get the point. They're children, they're minors, and they're having children. Again, they feel no shame, the family feels no shame. But I pray that you will live in a situation, enemies, where your children will be ashamed, your grandchildren will be ashamed, you will be ashamed. May you be detained, may you be sectioned, may you be physically abused, may you be sexually abused, may you be mentally abused, may you be socially abused, and may you be relentlessly abused. Not because I hate people, not because I'm bitter, because the point I'm trying to make here is until you go through this suffering, you are never going to understand, you are never going to empathise, you are never going to learn the lessons. So I pray in the mighty name of Jesus Christ that each and every one of these wrongdoers, including those perpetrators and corrupt, paedophilic, disgusting, abusive staff members and students, and racist and lookist staff members and students at the University of Bolton and elsewhere, and all of their enablers, may they begin from tonight to feel the wrath of God. Not my wrath, but God's wrath. May you begin to feel the shame in your bodies, in your faces, in your minds, in your spirits. May you experience dire symptoms. May you experience skin conditions, imbalances, a lack of development, weakness, fatigue, pain, cramping, spasms, paresthesia, migraines, period pains, and the very worst of symptoms. May you and your children suffer. Because like I keep saying, you have to go through it in order to learn the lessons, in order to learn the moral values, in order to learn what it means to be ethical. You won't have the luxury of your privilege. You won't have the luxury of your parents and your partners and your children and your friends reaching out to help you. You won't have the luxury of relying on your non-deserved income. You will have nothing, you will have no one, you will have to beg for money and food, you will have to beg the DWP to give you money, you will have to literally be called a skank and scrounged. Let me look at some other, like she's got clothes on, she hasn't got clothes on. That's a very cute little dog. There she showed her arms on purpose. Again, this is really not, I don't know if this was... Yeah, again, look. Ironically, the one time I tried to... What's stopping you pressing pause? That's a bit of a triggering question. She's got clear skin, though, you can tell. And of course, it's very rare that we see women wearing clothes these days, which is why it's shocking me so much. She doesn't have any skin conditions. They're disgusting. They might be fully clothed, but they're literally talking about having sex. So, not exactly Puritans, are they? Same with them, same with them. Disgusting. Yes, I'm aware that my disgusting disabled parents also had sex in order for me to pop out, but my situation is very different. My one-eyed, diseased, villager-born, mother didn't really have a say in what happened to her. Again, look, she's got boobs, she's got clear skin, she's clearly, and I bet people call her sexually gratifying, she's clearly given or had consent. Again, her as well, her whole chest is showing, her clear skin is showing. She's sexually gratifying to people, so I'm not talking about the child because that's not her fault. She probably didn't have consent, but, she's just a baby. My mummy took pictures of me as a baby. That doesn't really matter because that's just her baby, but when somebody does it when you're an adult woman, when you have a skin disease, and again, like she had consent, you can almost see her chest area there, but again, you can see she's very identifiable. Again, I have got other... In fact, let me just change magazine because, in all honesty, this is probably the first time I've gone through a magazine where the images... I've got this one, which is obviously not a magazine, but it's an illustrator's. Right, so you see the point here, right? Sexually gratifying, as they've got clear backs, clear arse cheeks, this is, again, obviously a lot of these are paintings, but the ones that are photographs, this photograph, for example, portrait, right? She sat like that, knowing that her face was going to be displayed because she wanted her face to be on display. She doesn't have a skin condition to raise awareness of. She just wanted to showcase her beauty or perceived beauty. And she's happy for people to... what they've done to me is beyond inhumane. It is beyond inhumane. People would literally go on killing rampages if they had gone through what I'd gone through. And I'm not going to show, like her, for example, right, she's got her, right, I did have, okay, she's fully covered as well. I don't know what's going on right now. The last time I looked at this magazine, they did not have fully clothed, unless I've ripped it out. But the point is, I didn't stand there to be sexually gratifying. I stood there to raise awareness of the skin condition. It's very rare you see a flat-chested model as well, so there you go. This is not helping. But do you see the point? They all have clear skin. They've got clear skin. She's still trying to be with her face showing. Oh, it wasn't recording. What I was trying to say about this one is that she obviously, with this being such a massive publication, wanted her face to be showing, wanted her chest to be showing identifiably, and she posed in that way to be sexually gratifying. she doesn't have a skin condition to raise awareness of. She's trying to apparently advertise a watch, and yet she's got her chest on display as well, her face on display. I don't really see the correlation between needing to show your chest and your face for a watch. But she won't be criticised because she's sexually gratifying. There are many magazines I have in which there are people... Oh, there we go. Here. I mean, she's practically naked. So don't bother fucking telling me that, oh, why did you stand for I was coerced by a woman who has worked with paedophiles. How was I to know that she was going to use the images in the ways that she did? Right? In this magazine, it just happens to be that they're all fully dressed, which is to my detriment because it's not doing me a favour in terms of talking about... Right, let's just go on a normal news website and I'll show you what I mean. BBC News. Because I don't have a Telegraph subscription anymore. Extremely slow. And there's articles about people being abused by gangs and police. Ew. Something about Palestine, something about maternity services. I don't know if I'm going to find... Right, here, for example, we've got why Scots are swapping festivals at home for abroad. So you see this woman here. If the laptop would actually work. Okay. Right, so just let's say female magazine UK. What you have to understand is I was already called ugly, disgusting. Let me tell you what Aziza Alma did, right? Oh, you're so pretty, don't worry, I won't make you do anything you're not comfortable with. I will help you, don't worry. Blah, 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 all sweet talking. Then on the day of the photo shoot, all your people look the same to me. Stop blinking, stop moving. Do you know how much time I'm spending on you? Do you know how expensive my camera is? Blah, 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 right? Bitch, absolute bitch of bitches. Little was I to know at that time that not only would she blank my communication, but she would go on to keep the images, disseminate them. And this is not some white, privileged, properly developed, healthy, normally functioning, employed woman we're talking about. We're talking about someone who is in the pits of hell, who was in the pits of hell, who is in the pits of hell. The images are still out there. Bastards, children, teenagers, racists, paedophiles, murderers, wrongdoers out there have that on their phones. They can be saying and doing anything. Look at the fucking state of these people. What a dog, what a witch, what a bitch, what an ugly this, that and the other. Why would you stand like that? They're not the ones who have been abused and coerced and violated. But this bastard university, that's not even a real university, has continued to completely ignore my cries for help. They have not provided me with any transparency, any explanations, any accountability, any apologies, any sort of... just nothing. They've given me nothing. Not only can they not be arsed, but they want to see me suffer. Not only did they do that, but they had me wrongly detained. They had people come into my room and search. What exactly were they going to find? A gun? A weapon? What were they going to find? Drugs? Bastards is what they are, to say the very least. They have ruined my education, they have ruined my reputation, they have ruined my autonomy. Never in my life have I used images of myself on any social media site. And now I'm forced to talk about my experiences to the media, to local people, to regional people, whether or not people care, I will expose this university. I will expose Azizat Arma. I will expose Sharon Lovell, who gets paid as a lecturer, who has more than 20 years of so-called experience of teaching on ethics and consent within her course of visual journalism and storytelling. And yet she chose, purposely, with her racially hateful viewpoint, to keep and use images of me without my consent. She is a witch, she is a cunt, she is a bitch, she is the worst of humanity, she is no feminist, she is no role model, she is no educator, she is a dirty, cheap, racist cunt who ought to be given the capital punishment, as should Azizat Arma. These are not good women, these are not professional women, these are not degree-worthy women. These are perpetrators, these are racists, these are violators, these are people who like to push this agenda that people who are from my background are not attractive, or that we are not human beings, or that we have no value or say. You have done this to the daughter of a dead father and a disabled mother, and that daughter happens to be disabled herself. Mark my words, in the name of God and in the name of Jesus, you will suffer. All your nudes that I'm sure are out there, because both of you are sexually active and dirty women, I have no doubt about that. Especially if you're working for and associated with the University of Bolton, for goodness sake. You know, I have no doubt in my little mind that you are all women who have got nudes and sexually explicit photographs and videos out there with your significant others, or your multiple partners, I should say. But you think that's all hidden and secure and safe? No, 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 no. Mark my words. The truth will surface somehow, whether you like it or not. Even if you've locked everything up into some secure vaults, or you've paid people hundreds of pounds, or you've given people sexual favours, whatever you've done to try and hide or cover up things, the messages you've sent, the emails you've sent, the verbal communications you've had, the text messages, the mocking discussions as you were putting the photographs up. Not only did you not give, you cannot give any excuse at this point. Not only did you use the images, but you didn't give any context. You didn't give any reasons. You didn't give any sort of captions as to, oh, this is someone with prurigo nodularis. No, you just fucking use someone's image without telling them, without asking. As someone who is so fucking conscientious, so careful, so clean, so hygienic, so impeccably conscientious, you would not fucking believe. It might not be reflected in the skin, which is the exact reason I was trying to raise awareness in the first fucking place. Right? You do not make assumptions about people's skin without knowing what their actual habits are, without knowing what their lifestyle is, without knowing what their immune system does or does not do. I was trying to raise awareness as a disabled, adult, mature student. Instead, I was humiliated, I was perpetrated against, I was violated in the worst of ways, and they didn't even just leave it at that. They decided to say further lies. She hasn't completed this course. She's this, that and the other. She's got mental illness. No, I fucking haven't. Anybody else out there? You know, even Becca, my distance friend who I've yet to even meet, right? Who has been kinder than anyone I've actually even met in person, has said, I hate your university. She doesn't know this town. She doesn't know anyone here. But when I told her what happened to me, she said the words, I hate this university. Don't worry, Becca, I won't give them your surname. But you know who you are. If you ever see this, I'm sorry that you have to hear it this way, but it's absolutely harrowing what they've done to me. And I had to tell her about where they then detained me. I had to tell her about, you know, the difficulties. And I think the last time I spoke to her is when I told her, I'm out of that environment now, I'm in a HMO. Little was I to know at the time that I was going to be racially abused there as well, by Nigerian women, as well as total randoms downstairs and other people who they used to bring into the fucking house. And now I've ended up in this fucking shithole, which is a former pub where the bastard landlord allows his fucking shitty staff to come in as and when they please, with absolutely no consequences. So fuck you, Azizat Armour, fuck you, Sharon Lovell, fuck you, Matt Dillon, and fuck you, all of you who have enabled and intentionally violated me, who have enabled the abuse against me, who have enabled these violations against me. You know exactly who you are, you know exactly what you've done, and you think you've got the last word and the last laugh by putting me in a dire situation like this. But mark my words, your children will suffer, you will suffer, and no doubt in my mind that you all have some fucking dirty secrets and dirty laundry out there. It's all going to be aired, it's all going to be exposed, it's all going to be brought to the surface, whether you like it or not. This is not delusional, this is not just wishful thinking, this is actually going to happen. Because none of you have any morals or wits about you. You had the audacity to lie, and then even though I have screenshots to prove otherwise, you didn't even apologise. You still gave me the transcript of the course that I did complete. Where was the apology? Where was the acknowledgement that you made a mistake? Because you're too fucking proud, that's why you didn't. Right? What you have done is not a small matter. I've already been abused by my half-siblings, whose fucking children and grandchildren are white, privileged and better off than me. Right? I don't have any of those privileges. I don't have any of their freedoms and liberties and, you know, normality. I don't have a sense of smell. I don't have normal sight. I don't have normal functions and features and growth and development. I have nothing normal. I am the epitome of disabled. And yet you targeted somebody like me. You knew my vulnerabilities. You knew my background. I'd already overshared with the bastard fucking scumbags who work in your Life Lounge service. They know who they are. I'm not even going to fucking name those dirtbag fucking pieces of shit who the BA, whatever the organisation is that I complained to about them, still haven't responded to me regarding. But you will, again, you will have your licences, you will have your accreditations and everything you hold near and dear to you taken away, each and every one of you, individually and collectively, because you have intentionally taken away access to higher education from someone who has literally had to beg and go through absolute hell just to get into an entry-level higher education course at this age. Whereas you've got 21-year-olds who are, graduating, and then by the age of 25, they've got their masters, they've got a full-time, well-salaried, job. They've got it all going on. I've never had that. I do not have that, and I will never have that. And yet I continue to persist and study and research. You bullied me, you harassed me, you abused me because of characteristics outside of my control. But mark my words, just as I have to pick and scratch and extract at my skin with this parasitic lesions and all of the ugliness and pain that comes with this disease, I pray, right? Publicly and privately, you will get what's coming to you. You will be diseased in your skin. There's going to be many a summer where you're not going to be able to wear your short, skimpy clothes and your swimming costumes. You're not going to be able to have sex. You're not going to be able to have any more children. You're not going to be able to have fun time with anyone, because let me tell you, you are nothing. You are dirty, rotten, racist, revolting scoundrels who deserve to be churned in a fucking machine and left to rot. Shame on you, dirty, used baggage, pieces of racist, uneducated, uncultured, unbothered shit. I can't wait to see you all suffer.